Redfin published a report a couple of days ago. The article related to the report was titled One in seven pending home sales fell through last month, the highest June level on record. And you know what's been interesting? We've been hearing a lot of analysts and pundits in our industry really touting, purchase application data and saying, oh my, purchase applications are up, week over week, year over year for the last 15 weeks. By the way, where we're going from nominal applications to nominal plus one, but they've been really touting application data. But application data, in my mind, it's one of those soft data points that doesn't matter. Contracts matter. Properties going to escrow matters. What matters most is closings. We could do 1 million applications, but if people don't go under contract, who cares? And if the contracts don't close, who cares? All we did is waste time and money. So the thing to follow is actual real closings. But I digress. Let's talk about the fallout levels. And you know what? In the last decade, fallout levels have been around 10, 11, 12%. Not too bad. You can see here, this is from the article. You can see 2017, 11.5%, 2018, 12%, and so forth. But once we start to get to 2022, when the market starts to turn and into 2023, where it becomes more of a neutral market, even leaning towards, in some markets, towards a buyer's market, we start to see those cancellations elevate up to that 15% range, and that certainly isn't a good sign for us. If I scroll down this article here, you can see that they actually have a listing of the highest areas of cancellation. This isn't actually in order, but I will tell you, I will go ahead and tell you that the highest deal fallout rates, Tampa, Florida is almost 20%. Orlando is 19.5%. Deltona, Florida is 19.5%. Jacksonville, Florida, 18.4%. You kind of get it. Florida has the top, 4 spots. They're all around 20% cancellation rate. Really difficult market right now in Florida. Now it's because insurance, weather, HOA, the condos, blacklisted condos. It's all those things. That it possibly was overbuilt and a little bit. It also had some of the highest appreciation in the last few years. So there's a confluence of stuff that's driving not only price deterioration in Florida, but also the skittishness of buyers in Florida. A lot of people buying in Florida can't end up getting financing. The appraisal doesn't come through, or there's all sorts of other problems. But if you get out of Florida, the top Florida ones, you then get into and by the way, Jacksonville was number 5. Number 6 is Las Vegas, followed by Atlanta, Fort Lauderdale, San Antonio, Houston, and Fort Worth. So obviously, Florida dominates the top 10. Texas also populates the top 10. So there you go. Now, I'm going to state the obvious, and I apologize right now. But as we know, we can't count our deals closed until they close. And so we really need to be proactive approaching a transaction, educating our borrowers and buyers, and then really sticking close to them through the transaction. And I can't say this strong enough. And this is another device to stay ahead of AI. You cannot ask your buyers, your borrowers, your customers the following question enough times. How do you feel? How do you feel about your loan? How do you feel about the property? How do you feel about the home inspection? How do you feel about the appraisal? How do you feel about how the process is going? How do you feel about preparing to move? And then that we can, coach them, educate them, cheerlead for them, reinforce why they're doing it, reinforce the benefits of their actions. We have to be very intentional about staying very close to them, not only until it closes, but once it closes, we still have an obligation to make sure they're confident in their decisions. And so I want to get too alarmed about these cancellations. We just know that we have our work, the timeline of our work is expanding both ways. We're having to incubate leads longer, educate better, advise stronger, then manage the transaction, tighter, manage the borrower's emotions and their point of view, all those things elevated, and then we really need to coach them on home ownership once it closes. And what a neat thing to do. So we just got to be of greater service to our clients, which we should relish, overall. But so that's my message today from Redfin. I will put a link to the article below. I did a a LinkedIn post on this, as well as a few other articles. Check me out on LinkedIn if you get a chance. Comment if you're so inclined. I appreciate you giving me a few minutes of your time. I hope you're having a great day. I look forward to talking to you again soon.